strange what desire can make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody.
Hi, everybody. Okay, we are back. It is time to do a deep dive into some nasty stuff. We go from a spiritual world to the world of crime. We are covering. Okay, I want this to. Give me a sec here. Okay, we are covering the Sasha Riley interview regarding Epstein and Trump. This will be part 2 of probably I don't know. I think maybe 4 or 5 episodes we're going to be doing to get through this. Yeah, so it's going to be tough. So put your tough jackets on and your trigger warning. Everything is trigger warning on this. This is very, very, very sensitive topics, okay? If you are under 18, you are not to be here. I want you to leave, please. This is not for anyone under 18. Actually, I would say anyone under 25. Very, very graphic, disturbing content. Okay? Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Are you ready? I'm ready. I got my coffee and we're ready to go. I got the websites pulled up. Well, good. I'm glad you're here, Krista. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Terry. Come on in, everybody. I had a few people message me going, well, since you're covering this, I'm out. I'm like, okay. Blessings to you. Bye. It's my channel. I can cover whatever I want on my channel. You know, if you don't like this, then just don't watch. It's simple. Come back tomorrow when we're doing, psychic, spiritual stuff. It's gone from one level straight to the down. But I find this case absolutely fascinating. I think with me, you know what it is for me? I find these cases fascinating. It's the psychology behind all of it. And as a psychic, my readings on this, on the Epstein and the Trump, this is my opinion, my readings, I am reading that these people are telling the truth. Like 1000%. And like things need to be done here. Like, why is this guy not in prison? Like it's bad. So, yeah. Are we ready? Okay. We ready? We ready? So I think I've got it fairly close to where we ended off the other day, okay? Yeah, right. Yeah, the psychology behind all of it. Psychology fascinates me. Yeah. Okay.
To kind of recap what we were just talking about, one of the first memories that seared itself into my consciousness because of being what I perceived as a threat as a child was watching Donald Trump kill a litter of puppies. He did it in a variety of ways. As I stood there, they made me stand there, and he would harm or kill the puppy.
I told you, it's trigger warning, okay? Like, immediately jump into nasty, nasty stuff. Okay? Also, I'm going to just scroll over the documents as we're listening. Okay. So I'm going through the vault on the FBI website as we're listening. Okay.
And then look to see what my reaction was. And in my child's brain, that registered because I viewed him as somebody more dangerous than my parents, and I knew that they would hurt me. So in my ability to reason, my reasoning was if they were worse people than my parents, that they were somebody that might kill me. So that is why he was so. That's why I most of the stuff I just tried to forget. But with him, with Andy, and with Jim, I remembered them because they. The truth is, they scared me.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to summarize a bit about what we had discussed that wasn't recorded. So with Trump, when Trump murdered the puppies and forced you to watch, you were 8 or 9 years old. That was your first remembrance of Trump. And had Trump sexually assaulted and tortured you already?
Look at that. He was released on.
But I don't recall. I think what happened, and I'm relatively certain, but I think that was the precursor to him sexually assaulting me.
So
I think that was in an effort to make the experience as brutal as possible for me. That was the.
Okay, every now and then I'm going to pipe in with my opinion on stuff. This is my channel, my opinion. I'm entitled to it. I fully believe this guy is telling the truth, and it really does coincide with what is happening right now all over the world. This person is creating fear in multiple countries. Like we have never, in the history of the United States since, since like 9/11, I guess, but the attack, the wars in Afghanistan and stuff, but we've never really had a president, or you've never really had a president that verbally discusses and talks about military action like the way he does. Like his verbiage is wrong, just so wrong. And now he has his own citizens attacking each other in your country. I've been watching the riots for the last few days, and it's not just about ICE now. People aren't rioting just over ICE. They're attacking each other now. So when you have I was going to say dictator that enjoys watching suffering and pain, well, what this guy is saying, in my opinion, sure makes sense, doesn't it? And the rest of the world is finally starting to pay attention. And I hope to God, literally, that they stop it from happening. This guy is out of control. Irrational, out of control. Riddled with... it's just bad. And I'm really glad I'm not in the States. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm so glad I don't live in the States.
Same kind of MO that was used with Patricia later on.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed to be that he would use his imagination as such to try to figure out what ways would be the most traumatic, to make the most traumatic experience, to destroy somebody, kind of traumatize somebody to the maximum potential possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first template of that, was watching him kill those puppies. And then the next higher order of that, and I couldn't tell you exactly how much time passed between, but I would say likely a couple of years, or at least a year later,
Like, the stuff that we are hearing come out of this man's mouth is mind-boggling. And all I say, people watching, do your research. Do every bit of research you can. Do your research. Educate yourselves.
Before the instance with Patricia.
Okay. And the incident with Patricia.
And,
Oh, and
Was
that's
and
one
at
more
that
thing.
point,
Yeah.
Okay, this Patricia, if anybody out there is watching, I would like to know, I need this lady's name. There's 2 women that he talks about that were killed. I want their names, please. Patricia, and I think the other one is Sarah. I want their names. I'm going to actually try and do readings on them and see what I can get. See if I can make contact with them. I'm pretty sure I can. So I need the names. I need to know who am I asking for. Okay. Let me just pull this up. I need to read the chat. Okay. So welcome everybody. Please come in. Trigger warning, everyone. Just sit, get comfy. I just made myself a fresh cup of coffee, and we're ready to go. Okay. I'm scrolling through the FBI vault as we're listening to this. Okay.
at that point, I had already, in my mind, I had already thought there's no way I'm going to live through this anyway. They're just going to torture me to death anyway. So I might as well do everything I can to fight back.
Okay. And so with the incident with Patricia, then recapping, they told you to go into another room with Patricia. There was film? They were filming?
No.
There wasn't filming in such a case?
What happened with me and Patricia, my dad, before we got to the party, said, hey, there may be somebody you know. I had been trafficked with her previously.
Yeah.
But she and I were as close to being friends as you could be. We were, in the same boat as far as, our station in life. So we had kind of become friends, and she ran up to me, and I can remember she's saying, hey, come go with me. And I said,
Wow.
I can't. And my dad said, no, it's okay. You guys go off and have fun. And I said, what do you
These
mean?
lawyers,
He
I
said,
tell you.
Go just have fun. You're an adult now. And I can remember thinking in my mind, I was wondering, what happens next? And the only thing that I knew of really of being an adult was my dad. And I knew that he didn't go to these parties and get assaulted. So in my mind, I thought, well, maybe that part of my life is over. But anyway, we left. We wound up going into the farmhouse. We went into the room not at the behest of anybody else. She wanted to have sex with me because she knew I wouldn't hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, I wouldn't swear to this part, but I am relatively certain she and I had already made some movies together.
Okay, I think we've seen this.
Not at the farm, but...
Okay, we've heard that. So I'm going to skip forward. Okay, let's skip forward here.
And I never heard back from them. And I don't know why. I don't know how deep they dug. I don't know why that investigation stalled. But at the conclusion of that, I felt as though law enforcement was not somebody that would
Oh, no.
do anything. Because I know that the investigations have to be somewhere.
Yeah.
My parents were investigated over and over and over again, particularly my dad, in 3 different states.
Okay.
Seems like
Okay, there you
there's
go.
Four different states. Because
Yeah.
Texas,
His
Tennessee,
parents were
Alabama,
just
and they
terrible
tried to kill me
people.
In Florida, there was another investigation in Florida that followed them back to Alabama.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question for
There's
you.
no way. Yes.
This is specific regarding with Trump again, and I think it might help in terms of sort of just establishing something.
I pray to
When
God something
you
happens from
kicked
this.
the
I hope
tent
to
peg
God
into Trump's anus.
Oh yeah,
You
God.
said he
Okay, we're
tore Trump's.
yeah.
Smaller,
We're fast forwarding.
Group of people at the
It's a lot of collusion, but there are decent folks, and there are decent folks that are trying to do the right thing. And
Okay, so this guy defended himself. So apparently, he says from Trump, to the point where he injured Trump for life. And there's a rumor that Trump has to wear disposable garments, and this guy says it was probably because of what he did to him to protect himself. It's brutal stuff.
I'll get these audio files. I'll get them looked at. I'll get them uploaded. I'll write a little summary. I'm sort of simmering about, just some of the logistics in terms of the file size, the right location, where I'm comfortable with the files being.
Date on this.
And I'm, like I say, I've already looked in terms of some contacts at the Hague. One of the things with the Hague is the United States isn't part of the international, the criminal court system anymore.
2006.
But I know how can still be presented because it is international security issue.
Oh my God, this went back to
Trump's wreaking this
2006.
sort of
They were
havoc.
already investigating
Now,
him then.
Trump's attempting to wreak havoc on all sorts of folks in all sorts of countries regarding tariffs and all sorts of nonsense. And is it the exact MO you described with the puppies and with Patricia?
Right. That's exactly what I was just
So-
saying.
just seem to enjoy watching the act of suffering play out.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was just saying.
Almost any venue that he has any part of.
Yeah. And now
You
with
know,
immigrations and detentions, disappearances in the United
That's
States,
abhorrent.
again, it's similar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just if Trump does one thing that's good for this country, it will be by being such a putrid human being, he will maybe expose much of the corruption around him, and that is my only hope for him. Other than that, he serves no positive purpose to mankind.
Yeah.
But if his level of malfeasance somehow segues into the exposing of the misdeeds of some really bad people around him, that'll be the only good thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but
Yeah.
I have watched this presidency closer than any other because of my past, and good God, everything he touches turns to shit.
Yeah.
And it seems to be that he turns it to shit in the most callous and horrible way possible for as many people as he can make it that way.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me that so many people are on board with the suffering of others, and it seems to be the almost the selling point.
Yeah.
You know, I can remember discussing with somebody the other day, I don't care if somebody's here legally or illegally. At the end of the day, that's still a human being that we're talking about. Now, if this person has gone and murdered people or done something like that, well, then they should answer for it. But every person deserves due process. Every person. And that's the way the Constitution is written. That was the one thing that all 9 Supreme Court justices even agreed on.
Mm.
Is that everybody should get due process.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he is denying people that and trying to convince the masses that certain people do not deserve due process is just alarming to a degree that it actually is shocking to me that it isn't a line in the sand for everybody. I don't understand.
We're
the
listening
reasoning
to
behind
Sasha
some
Riley.
people thinking that.
This is the interview of Sasha Riley. You're going to have to Google it. Sasha Riley is a person that was assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein. And they've come out and talked. So we're halfway through it, I think.
That because your skin's brown, you don't deserve due process, or because you crossed the border here, which is essentially a civil matter, a speeding ticket type of violation, you know, that somehow now that person deserves to suffer to death.
On
You know,
such a subject, something that I'm simmering with in terms of timing of publishing the files, you know, there's, on one hand, I want to publish sooner than later, but one of my siblings is traveling to the United States this
Mitzi.
week, and I
Hi, hon.
told her not to travel. I said it was quite urgent not to travel, and she just hasn't
Willow, I
read a
got
lot of
your
information.
PayPal. Thank you so much,
I
babe.
know. And so what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at in terms of logistics, especially since we've, you know, our discussion today, I need to confirm when my sister's traveling and her husband, when they're back in Canada. And I would want to make sure they're back in Canada before I post the audio file, just in case. I don't
blame you.
You know, because I just don't. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, I want to make sure you're in a safe location. I have a friend who's retired. He's American. He's worked as a defense attorney, but he lives in Canada now, at least half the year, and he hates Trump. And I got a call into him. He was a defense attorney in the United States, and I want to run through some things with him, see if he has some suggestions just in terms of preparation, in terms of, you know, so we're okay. So if there's a deluge of press, maybe folks will ignore, maybe there'll be a bunch of press contacts. I just want to make sure there's a bit in terms of preparation there. So, but it is really urgent, I know, sooner than later. So let's just, you know, go step by step.
Okay. Absolutely. I'll look forward to hearing back from you.
Yeah, and
there is one other entity that is right now going through some flight logs, and I think they're going to schedule talking to me tomorrow. I think it was the day that they had. So they are looking for my name and my dad's name in different itineraries to try to piece it together from a different angle.
Yeah, and who are the folks you're speaking to there?
There, I have the name on there. I don't have it on the top of my head. Hold on. I sent them an email. Let me look at my email. The Crustian Daily ICE list.
Okay, that's right. So they're looking through there. Yeah. Okay. When you speak to them, maybe just tell them that don't mention my name, but just say you're speaking to someone that's helping them that's helping you in terms of court related, affidavit related, and that I'm planning on publishing some discussions with us imminently. And if they would, you know, I just want to, you know, I want to make sure that it doesn't get the waters don't get muddied inadvertently. I actually follow them on social media, and I like what they're trying to get compilations and all the ICE agents and everything. So that's great. But I would appreciate just from, and just a bit more in terms of my background. I've spent lots of time advising folks on a whole range of subjects, and I, have a very specific approach in regards to law enforcement. That's sort of I'm sort of Clark Kent camouflaged. And so when I look at what I'm looking at, it's really about what's truly the right thing that's really going to truly help ensure there's justice. And I mean like true justice. So if you would, if anybody from any journalistic outlet tries to contact you for interviews or anything, I would appreciate if you would just decline until we can get this published, because I think that's going to really help in terms of what we can, of what's the most important to get out of what we've covered raw, because journalists are going to try and edit, and there's just, we have to be careful about who's on side and who isn't. So,
Right.
so, and I'd like to speak to some folks that, you know, the human rights organizations, maybe even try to get something into the ICC.
Trying to find where I
before,
was the other day with the
you know,
files.
again, sooner than later. And so, yeah, so talk to the folks at the Crustian tomorrow, but please don't agree to any sort of journalistic interviews with them or anyone else until we get these audio
Oh,
files
here.
published.
Okay.
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 Awesome. And
Yep.
contact me anytime anything comes up. Okay. I want you to know that, you know, I'm a fierce warrior myself. So
I believe I have relayed the bulk of what I truly remember clearly. But if some detail should come up that I remember after the fact that I think is pertinent, I'll just shoot you a text or a message.
yeah.
And I feel like I've been as thorough as I can without, you know, ad-libbing.
Yeah.
You know, I have my thoughts on the matter as well, but I'm just trying to relay those things that I clearly remember, and that unfortunately is just the small amount that I have told you. You know, there's much more to it. It's just that those details are so muddy that all I can say is there's just a substantial amount more abuse that I can't pinpoint. And be
They don't make it
specific
easy to
about.
find this stuff, that's
So-
for sure.
No, I understand. And then, you know, again, I'd still like to
They
look.
definitely don't
so
make
we've
it
got
easy
these
to find it.
files. I probably, in terms of the one file, I'll probably shorten the length just of the 5 minutes where we talk about, you know, carefulness in terms of journalists and stuff, and my sister traveling just for safety reasons. So I'll just cut the one file short. But
Right.
then for sure, I'd like to look at, you know, another interview where we talk about some of the details that are fuzzy and everything, but just peacefully.
Okay.
It's right timing and things. And then, like I say, I've sort of tried to structure so it's easy to get into affidavit format and stuff in terms of criminal cases. I know you could file a
Where the
lawsuit
hell
or
did I
something in
find
the
it?
United States, but I just don't know that that's the right approach to look at right
Right.
now. Like E. Jean Carroll filed a lawsuit, but this is a totally different level of crime, right? So,
Yes. Yeah.
which is why I'm
And I also want to be careful that I don't come across looking like I'm.
Oh, here. Okay.
I do not care about money. I do not
Yeah.
care about any sort of notoriety. All I care about is exposing this for what it is, in
Yeah.
hopes that
Okay.
it would shut down that part of the operation. I know that you can't exactly create a nirvana. You know, there's always going to be bad people doing bad things, but at this level that it's being used, somebody has to stand up to it, because we're goose stepping towards our own crematorium, is what it looks like to me. And we're having to do that because of all this leverage on the people at the very top of our food chain.
yeah.
Oh, here we are.
Well, what I'm
And
gonna
in as much
Okay,
as Donald Trump has all of this dirt on the people around him, I wonder just exactly what dirt maybe our adversaries have on Donald Trump. You know, that's just speculative on my part,
yeah.
but it certainly would seem to me that he is beholden to Netanyahu and to Putin.
Yeah, I would say that's quite clear,
So,
and certainly even involving yourself and footage with yourself. So,
here we are. Okay.
so
okay.
Okay, this might be
I very
tough.
much appreciate the help with all this. I've forgotten the name again, the crustacean or
Yeah.
whomever, they are they are trying to put together.
Oh, this is a prison.
The different flight itineraries. So
Okay.
they and
Okay, we'll come
possibly.
back to that.
I'm not
It's
sure
the
who I spoke to
prison.
about that, but apparently there's facial recognition software and there's an international porn database.
Yeah.
So when child victims become adults, if they approve, and I do, being run through that system, they can, if it's ever been on the internet, they can do a lot of forensics.
Did they say they thought they
analysis.
could help with that, or that they might have access to some of the software?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
I mean,
So,
don't mention my name, but just mention that, you know, I'm helping you and that I might like to talk to them and you at some point. But just tell them I'm sort of looking through in terms of the ICC and I'm doing some diligence there, just precautionary.
Hi, Krista. Oh, yeah, you're back. Welcome
reached
back.
out to me that have
Flight logs. Oh
been
my
involved
god.
in similar types of abuse. I don't know if that would be potentially helpful. I don't know
Nestle.
that this is under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
But one lady that has reached out to me has talked about something that's more involved than just, you know, like family abuse type of things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, we'll look at all those things. And what I'm looking at, something that would help me if you thought about a little bit in terms of sort of jurisdictions, if you were anyone either, you said you remembered accents and stuff, and then with Putin, just in terms
Anderson.
of if there was
Dan
anyone
Anderson.
in Europe, and specifically in Canada,
Anderson.
it's one of the countries of the British Commonwealth, the Commonwealth of
So this is,
Nations.
we're looking at one of the
And if there's
flight logs
anyone in
of
any of
his
the Commonwealth of Nations
private
countries, that might
course,
help
it's
in
not
terms
clear.
of with jurisdiction. But like I said, it's like really it's international security issues. So, you know, I would hope that
Christine,
you know,
Heather,
decent
Ira.
folks
Oh
working
my
as
God,
prosecutors in Canada and involved with the ICC and concerns regarding NATO and the Five Eyes Agreement would do the right thing and attempt to assist. So that's sort of what I'm trying to sort out a little bit there. But I know that as a very big start is just publishing the briefings. You know, and like I say, I would send the briefings to some of the folks that I've advised during the years. I would publish and post them. And
I wonder
I'll
who Christina is.
after the briefings with the audio and published,
Abigail. There's
the
so many
right
female
preface,
names on
and
here.
Right preface, meaning so
One
it's
male,
clear
one
what
male,
your
one
position
male.
is. And it's clear what my position
Christina.
is, which is doing the right thing, right? Isn't about some financial
A lot of Christina.
interest or anything. It's about doing the right thing.
James Murphy.
Sometimes doing the right thing involves finances, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about
Pam Stevens.
honoring the truth.
That's it. You know,
Crazy stuff.
you know, those three girls,
Yeah,
they
this guy is very
they
courageous.
deserve to
That's
chance
right.
their lives too,
Yeah.
you know?
He's risking his life
And
talking
these
about this.
people that somehow believe that they're elevated from the same rules
Jeffrey,
and
his
laws
wife,
as the
one
rest of
female.
us,
Jeffrey, one female.
decided
Jeffrey,
that
two
their
females.
own
Jeez.
absolute monstrosity of desires was more important. And I just don't think that condition should be allowed to exist.
Yeah.
You know, I forget who said it, but evil only exists, or something about good people doing nothing. Evil exists because good people do nothing. You know, something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this level of evil, I don't think
Anderson,
should
Rupert,
exist,
Donald
but
Trump.
we will see.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
October
I'm gonna spend a little time
October
outdoors and get some
1993.
follow-up calls going and we'll
Donald
figure
Trump.
this out. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your help.
You're welcome. And hey, something else before we go, I'll just tell you one of my own, two of my mantras. mantra isn't the word I'd like to say because I don't practice occultist sort of Buddhism. Two of my mottos, I guess. Honor self, honor all is one, and fangs forward, faith up is another. So that's my approach on these
Donald Trump,
items,
1994.
if that helps.
I do appreciate all of the help.
Wow.
I do.
Thank you.
I hope that my hope is just that some good will come out of this. Is it? And if that just means exposing the bad people, then so.
Sasha, I'll make sure. I'll make sure. And how I can't even quite really speak to you about how I've already made sure there is justice, and it's much more immense than anyone else really experiences awareness of, and justice is here now. Okay.
I appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, Sasha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
I don't have one with him as my. Wait a minute.
Okay, let's take a break for a second. We're going over I'm just scrolling over the flight logs right now too as we're listening. So by the looks of this, that Jeffrey and Trump knew each other for a long time. Like these date back, it was at 1993, a minute ago. Wow. This crazy shit. They say this is interesting, eh? Like what I found going through the files that they have released, some of them aren't redacted. Like I found a lot of shit that's not redacted. It's interesting. Like the video I played the other day was definitely not redacted. Crazy. So here's one. Jeffrey, his wife, A.S., whoever that is, Claire, Hazel, and one more female. Like there's not... See, like these aren't redacted. Though I guess it doesn't shit. Well, some of it shows their last names too, but it's just crazy. Ruben Plant. Selena. I hope these people start coming forward and start talking. I that's my biggest hope of all of this, is that people come out and start talking and justice is served when it comes to Trump. If this guy's telling the truth. Epstein, unfortunately, is passed, so there's not much they can do, though I think they could probably pursue more charges on Maxwell. Because by the looks of it, it looks like she was involved in almost everything. She was with him through all of it. Crazy. Okay. Listening again, those of you watching in the background, thank you for being here. Please hit the thumbs up button, and trigger warning to all of you. This is very, very graphic content.
No, Diary Commander.
Okay.
No,
So before...
Bailiff, Michael. What's that?
Oh, no, go ahead. Tell me. Bailiff?
Yep. B-A-L-I-S. First name Michael. Middle initial R. And then Junior.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is the newer NCUE number, 4561.
Okay.
And the commander at that time, I thought it was Captain Colasanto, but the commander, who I don't remember talking to, but that was Captain Mendenhall, Ryan L.
Ryan L. Mendenhall, what's the spelling?
Mm-hmm. Mendenhall, and Ryan is spelled Ryan, middle initial L. Last four of the social is 1124.
Okay. Okay.
And so to be a little more helpful for the dates, the date of my NCER was 2010, September 21st of 2010. So
September
he would have
21st,
talked to me-
2010.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would have
So
been
many
talking-
names here.
I would have talked to him about it probably within the year prior to that date, sometime within the year prior to that date.
So year prior to the date, so 2009.
Yes, sometime within that year, because a rating period is for 1 year.
Thank you,
Okay.
Susie. Thank you, Krista.
Okay. So sometime between 2009, September 2009 and September 2010.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Crazy
So,
stuff.
in terms of what I was going to record, in terms of like we can look at as another audio file, what I just recorded now, I'll just we'll start the sort of like in terms of witness testimony right here, because I just want to be careful about what we publish about those individuals right now, because we want to see about talking to them.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. So, today is July 19th, 2025. And continuing with interviews from tomorrow.
July
from
19th.
Right.
Today is July 19th, 2025. Oh, July 20th? My goodness gracious.
These are flight logs.
So, yeah, today is July 20th, 2025.
These are flight logs for his plane, for his private plane. It's the list of passengers, their names. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of females on this.
And we're continuing with interviews from yesterday.
I'm looking for
July
any fake
18th, 2025. And I wanted to just recap what we had spoken about the girls. So there was 10 to 12 films.
Sarah
one
Kellen.
snuff film
I
we
wonder if that's
spoke
it.
about yesterday, conversed about yesterday. There's one more circumstance similar where you were there when the girls were
Okay,
killed
I'll be right
after
back.
the filming.
I don't
There were
have
at
my
least two
pen.
girls that were killed.
I'll be right back.
Was the same MO? They were shot in the head?
I didn't witness that. And I didn't know that it was coming. We completed filming. Then the girls, they said, "Hey, y'all come with us. You help pack up the equipment or clean up or do something, in reference to me." And there was another person in there with me, besides the girls. And I could hear a gunshot, but I didn't. I wasn't witness to it. It was outside, and I can remember the other person saying, "Just focus on what we've got to do. That's not us or not you or whatever like that."
Mm-hmm.
So, I can remember wondering if it was going to be my turn next or whatever. But as far as
Okay.
witnessing it or anything or knowing what
So,
happened after
Sarah
or how they
Kellen. I wonder if that's the name I'm looking for.
disposed of them. I don't know any of that.
And you said you thought they were silencing the girls, and the girls were under 13.
Well,
I'm looking for the name
in
of
the
Sarah
brothels,
and
Samantha
Patricia.
had
Their
talked
last
about,
names.
that they only used the girls
The
for a
two
certain
that
amount of
died.
time because after a period of time
At
where
least
they
that he
kind of
talks about
became
here.
cognizant that they weren't going to
Sarah Kellen.
really ever rise above that. Because the way that they would sell it to the girls is, "Hey, we're going to clean you up and make you beautiful, and you'll be around these rich people, and they like young women. So if you can be what they want, then perhaps you'll go off and live in a mansion with one of these rich people." but that facade or that lie or whatever only survives for so long because they're horribly abused and things
Tatiana.
like that. And after a period of time, they just kind of become
God.
aware that this is their station in life. They're never going to be, I guess, the arm candy of one of those rich people flying on Learjets, you know? And the way that Samantha described it is, once they
Bill
get to
Clinton.
that level of consciousness, they have passed
Secret
their
Service.
expiration date. So they would only use the girls for a certain amount of time, and you know they were either recruiting or finding. I don't know how they got the girls, you know, but
Cindy
I can
Lopez.
remember even in the brief period of time that
Was
I
that
was
Cindy
there,
Lauper?
I wasn't there for longer than just a few months. You
Oh
know,
my God, that's Cindy
maybe
Lauper.
maybe even just like a couple of months. But even in
Cindy
that
Lauper's
small
name
period
on
of
this.
time, I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people killed.
5 killed during 2 months.
Yes.
So-
I saw Sarah Guy. She was there when, or I was there when she died. Samantha killed another one of the girls. That was I think she just killed her because she kept causing problems, to be honest with you. And then the 2, which I believe it was 2, it might have been 1, it could have been 3. I wouldn't swear, you know, on the number, but I believe it was 2 in that one shoot. And then the one girl that was killed during the filming. She was killed on film while the cameras were rolling.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then Sarah was committing suicide, you said.
Yes. Yes.
And
to
Patricia. What about
terrorize you.
Yes.
So those
Patricia?
were additional killings on top of the 5 during the 2 months. Is that?
Well, let me count again. So it's
Yeah.
Sarah, the 2. There's another one that I saw killed too.
So Sarah, which was sort of more of a suicide, but then Samantha pulled the trigger, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then one other time where one of the girls was executed in the brothel, and that was in front of all of us.
This is crazy shit. I cannot believe
So
what
one
we're
of the
listening
girls was
to.
executed in the brothel. And did you say that Samantha did the execution? Did they force Samantha to do the execution or no?
2 separate instances. The
Okay.
one girl that was executed, I did not know her. I don't know if I'd ever even hardly spoken to her, but she was killed as some sort of retaliation. Somebody was
I can't
beating
believe what
Samantha,
we're listening
and I got
to.
involved in it. And again, it was one of those people that you couldn't touch. So they came and they didn't kill me. They didn't kill Samantha. They just killed this other girl. And I don't even think she had anything to do with it. So
And was
they
that the
just-
one in the brothel?
That was one of the ones in the brothel, yes. And
Okay.
then Samantha killed this other girl just because she had beat up one of the other girls and she kept stealing stuff.
Joe
and she kept,
Pagano. Isn't he a
trying
football
to
player?
cause
Joe
problems with the people
Joe
running it.
Pagano.
And she just
P-A-G.
she murdered her.
A-N-O. Pagano.
Okay.
So that was even separate of all of that. So, and I know I'm thinking of more and more.
Yeah,
But
I suspect you'll think of a lot more.
All of these things are kind of compartmentalized a little bit. So I'm thinking, okay,
understand.
this happened. You know.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I understand. You know, there's
Crazy.
a lot. You've been through a lot, and you're trying to diligently remember, and remembering. You'll probably remember a lot more, and how I'm making sure is comfortable. So it's
Right.
So there was during the 2 months,
Cindy
there was
Lo-
at least 5 girls
It's
killed.
Cindy
And the
Lopez,
killings
not
were all
Locker.
related to the Trump
Unless
Epstein
they're-
pedophile ring. There was
It looks like
executions, snuff
Lopez, not
film,
Locker.
silencing the girls.
Cindy Lopez.
And
Now, at that brothel, I never saw anybody except this big-bellied hillbilly that ran it.
yeah,
And then one other I don't know what you call him, some
Yeah.
mobster.
Crazy,
that
eh?
was the one that came in and shot the, kind of terrorized all of us, pointed the gun at all of us, and then just shot kind of one girl at random.
Okay, so a mobster.
Yeah.
I just
And
can pray.
I have no idea who he is.
All we can do is pray that something comes of this. They better not just shrug this under the mat, put this under the carpet. Something better be done about this.
Was just some older guy, you know, gray hair, pinky ring type person, you know.
Yeah. And when the two girls were killed after the filming, tell me again what the other individual said to you, that you're good, they won't kill you, boys are hard to find.
Like, I was working, maybe packing up stuff or cleaning, or I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I remember that.
Thank you all for being here and hanging out with me.
We were breaking down the stuff that they had used to film it. And when I heard the gunshot, you know, I stopped working, and the guy was basically to the effect of, this doesn't concern you, just focus on what you're doing. You know, so I kept doing whatever it was I was doing.
And he said, boys are hard to find. You're good, boys.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Good. Girls are a diamond.
Tara, do you have any insight as to whether any of these people will be brought to justice? It seems that a lot is being hidden and no one is being ever held accountable. God. Honestly, I'm getting that it's just nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to be... That's why I keep saying it. That I'm getting nothing's going to happen. I think... Because Jeffrey Epstein is gone. But the big thing, what this is actually about, it's not about Epstein. He's talking about this because of Trump. That's why he's talking. So when it comes to him, well, I think the only way something could possibly get done is all of these famous people that are keeping their mouths shut out of fear, they need to come forward and start talking. Every single person out there that knows what this guy's talking about, they need to start talking. Like, number one steps, I think, they need to get this guy out of office, and then some serious justice needs to be done. Like, I'm sorry for all of you that live there. I'm really sorry for those of you that live there. It was a real big mistake bringing him into office. Big mistake. And I think actually the biggest mistake is the judge and the lawyers that let him off on that case about him just before he ran for president. Remember, he was in court all the time? Those women that were pressing charges? Well, they let him go. That's where I feel the biggest mistake is. Whoever that judge is, they're probably really regretting their decisions now. So that's just how I feel. That's my opinion. I feel that the only way, as I'm doodling on a piece of paper here, the only way I feel something can be done is if big people, big important people step up together like a large group and tackles this head on. Like, it's terrible. my feeling and reading of the whole thing is we're now dealing with somebody along the same lines, well, could possibly be along the same lines as a few really horrific people that are in our history from a different country. That's all I'm saying. Like, you have a nasty mastermind at the top of the chain right now, and he's going to cause problems for the, well, he already is causing problems for the entire world. Like, this is the worst mistake I feel that's been done in a long time. And remember I told you all about that reading I did last year? Remember the reading I did last year? Pay attention to what I said, because it's coming. Mark my words. It's coming. I'm not trying to scare people, but it's coming. Please do what I advised all of you to do a year ago, because it's coming. This guy is going to piss off the wrong person, which I think he's already done. And shit's going to hit the fan. Like, I see it happening. Every time I turn the news on and I hear Russia and China in the same sentence, I panic. It was Savvy's told me, Tara, calm down. I actually go, because I'm getting that Mr. Orange is going to piss off these two countries to the point that we're all in trouble. And I think he's already done it. He's already done it. I think we're past the point of no return. Like, I did a reading last week on it. I asked my flat out, I said, are we headed for WW3? And I literally heard, it's very close, for the first time. There is a psychopath in charge right now. And it's scary. If what this guy is saying is true, you have a psychopath master manipulator in office. If this guy is saying the truth, in my opinion, that's how I feel. It's scary. And the fact that now US citizens are actually fighting each other because of the actions of his orders for ICE to be out patrolling the streets. Well, now, I watched it for 3 days. Now, instead of them attacking just ICE agents, you have citizens attacking each other. That's what he wanted. That's what he wants. He's probably sitting in his lazy boy chair, enjoying every moment of it, watching people attack each other. It's really scary. You can feel it in the air. That's right. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. As PG says, that's my opinion, and I'm gonna take it, she says. Anyways, that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. And let's just say I'm really glad I'm in Canada. I am so glad I am not in the States. Literally, I see a Pandora's box just slowly starting to open. Like, let's just say they need to stay out of Arizona. Like, stay out of Arizona. I know of people in Arizona who actually have like bunkers buried under the ground full of survival gear. People that have been spent their entire lives getting prepared for this situation to happen. Like he is rattling really bad cages here. Like veterans that fought for this country are going to soon start getting really pissed off at what he's doing. I lived with one for years. And I know that my veteran, he believed the only thing he could trust, and this is infantry brainwashing, like 1000% infantry brainwashing. The only thing he could trust was the flag. Literally, the only thing he could trust is the flag. It's crazy shit. So, shit hits the fan. Come up to Canada, eh? We got a lot of woods you can hide in. Yeah. Yeah, your son is traveling to Arizona. Well, your son should be fine. Your son should be fine in Arizona. What I'm getting is there's a lot of people in Arizona that will fight to defend themselves. Like, you don't go down people's driveways in Arizona unannounced. They'll shoot you. And that's just the way it is. Everybody knows that. Like out in the desert, you don't just show up on somebody's house unannounced. They'll shoot you before you get through the gate. That's just the way it is. It's just that it's life. They're protecting themselves. So yeah. It's crazy. All right, so let's keep going. Hi, Aggie. Hi, hon.
Dozen boys are hard to find. Something like that. That may not have been the exact words, but it was something to that effect.
Yeah. So it sounds like in the case with the Trump Epstein ring, in terms of whoever they thought was expendable, disposable, the girls that were under the ages of 13 years old that were considered, would you say it was more about
Some of the
financially
names on this
forced?
list are
And they would just dispose of them as they
pretty
got
interesting.
older, more aware?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Once kind of the gig was up where they knew that the lies that they were being told weren't ever going to materialize, that no matter what they did for these rich people, they were just being used.
Yeah.
They didn't want them around to kind of spoil the ones that still believed in the narrative, because the structure of that was
Thank you for being here, everybody.
Get the girls to be enthusiastic, willing participants, you know, for these
I'm
rich
Googling
people.
some of
And
these names
once
I'm seeing.
they had reached a certain level of trauma, then they just kind of had no use for them.
Okay. So from your experience, all the girls that you were exposed to during those particular 2 months, they all died.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the ones that I made any kind of a closer connection with, they all died. Now, I may have had, there's not even any may to it. I had connections with more people that I don't have, didn't make as much of a concrete memory with, and I couldn't tell you
Wow.
what transpired after, the 2 months that I was there, or if some of them made it, or ran away or escaped, or I have no idea what happened to the rest.
And was
But
that
there were always
specifically,
go
is
ahead.
that was specifically when you were at the,
I can catch myself now. All these names on this list, I could catch myself spending hours Googling every one of them, but I'm not going to do it. I need to stop myself from doing it.
brothel during those 2 months?
Yes.
Okay. And when you first met Trump, you were about 8 or 9, and then the last incident with Trump, you said, was when you were 12 or 13. That's correct?
As far as I know, I wouldn't swear it could have been a more compressed time frame, say 9 to just 11. But within those years are all that I remember, around 8 to probably 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that it ended
Terrible.
even before the 13-year mark. But it would definitely be within that time period.
Okay.
Because beyond that, my life kind of changed a little bit, and there wasn't, after that incident with Andy Biggs, I do not have any recollection of either being abused by anyone outside the family.
Yeah, I agree,
or
Nikki.
any of those rich people. I had no more connection with any of that moving forward that I can recall.
Okay. And where did you go then after that period of time? Were you still with Marie Lynn and William Kyle?
Okay, so after Tennessee, after the films,
Yeah.
when we moved to Alabama, there was and I couldn't even tell
Thank you,
for
Aggie.
how long, but there was a period of time where I was taken away from them, placed into some sort of foster care. But I eventually, once the investigations into their activity petered out, I eventually made my way back into their house.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else you think would be
Larry
helpful
and
for us to
Summers.
converse about during this recording?
Not that I'm remembering at this time.
Yeah.
Even
Alan
some of this in my own mind, I can't
Alan
tell you
Dershowitz.
which thing happened
sounds
before
familiar.
the other thing. I haven't, like some of it's chronological in my memory, but I can't tell you.
Dershowitz.
I am pretty sure we still lived in Tennessee when they
He's
sent
a
me to the
lawyer,
brothel.
okay.
And that's where I met Samantha. That's where I met Patricia and Sarah. Sarah died at
Larry
the brothel.
and
I
Lisa
never saw, obviously,
Summers.
her again.
Mhm.
But then Patricia, I saw, it would have been months or a year later or whatever at that party.
Yeah.
Samantha was already
Harvard
dead at that point.
president.
So, and then
Holy
Patricia died at
shit.
that party.
So Samantha
And
was
that was
already
it. I can just,
dead.
go ahead.
So Samantha was already dead. Sarah died, and then Samantha, and then Patricia.
Yes.
Okay.
Harvard,
And
Larry
I can't,
Summers,
because I could just remember
former
when
Harvard
Patricia
president.
died, it kind of changed something inside of me. And in that, in my mind, I had just kind of lost my only friend, or my last remaining friend. And in my reasoning, there's no one left but me, meaning that the next person they're going to kill is me.
Yeah. 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 There's yeah, gosh golly. That's horrific circumstances.
Yeah.
I thought there was another.
And like a lot of these girls that just come up missing, that's where they go, man. They're in that type of a situation until they take a backhoe and bury him out in some farm or some other place, And it's sad to say that, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I remember that Samantha went by. She's the only one that I ever heard a last name, and I believe she went by Samantha Jackson, and the police did run her name through there. At least they said they did, and it did not match a missing person for their database. So, I don't know if that was her real name or it's just something she went by, but I do know that I can remember her talking to me about, just don't ever kill somebody for these people because then they own you.
Huh.
And that was part of her problem, is that they had used her to kill somebody, and so she figured no matter what, she was screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's
Did
crazy.
Trump ever visit the brothel, or Trump was usually at the parties on the farms?
Just at the parties. I couldn't tell you who all went in there.
Yeah.
Oops.
I can just remember Lynn dropping me off of there.
Okay.
And just telling me how horrible it was going to be the whole trip. And, I stayed there for however long, and then she came to pick me up. She got some money, but it wasn't very much, and she got angry. And whoever was running it just kind of laughed in her face because, they said, what are you going to do? Take us to all claims court,
Yeah.
This girl here looks familiar too.
And what year did Lynn commit suicide again? Ray Lynn? 1980? 1980s?
No. It was, no. It was, hold on, if I can tell you. Just a minute.
Ray Lynn, he's saying? Ray Lynn? I'm going to try and do readings on a few of these people. I'm going to try and get them to talk.
Wait a minute.
Ray Lynn.
No, that's not her. Nope, that's not her either.
Crazy.
Put in Texas, that might help.
Bill Gates. Oh,
there we
look at
go.
that. Wow. That doesn't
I'll
surprise
send you a
me.
picture too.
Sure,
That's
helpful.
crazy.
Let's see, 2018.
And so, what is that?
Let's see.
What is this stuff? PHEN.
So recent. That's right. It was recent.
ZA.
Yeah. Let's see. She passed away peacefully
PEN.
during the night at her home in Johnson City, Texas, July 28, 2018. And what I had heard is that
Pain
she
reliever.
took a bunch of sleeping pills and
Urinary
washed down
tract
with that.
infection pain reliever. Oh
But
my
I don't have
God.
her autopsy report or anything like that. But here, I'll send you her picture
It's
as well.
for urinary
Sure.
tract infection.
I saw William
Pain
Kyle's
reliever.
Facebook profile
Damn.
post a lot of pictures of cruise ship travel.
I'm sure he has PTSD. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't, right?
So,
This one blows my mind. This
I'm
picture
just
of
going to pause
Bill
recording
Clinton.
here right now.
Okay.
And
Wow.
Of it and causing that was just some sort of a special degree of just horrible person,
yeah, that's like
Michael
in terms of
Jackson, Diana
extremity
Ross.
of malevolent, psychopathic, sadistic. So they shot Patricia in the torso first. And do you remember the description of the I don't even call him a
Prince
gentleman,
Andrew?
the gentleman who was like shuffling on his feet and was uncomfortable about how much Patricia was suffering, getting tortured?
I wish I could give you a better
Oh my
description.
God.
Just 5 or 6 pot-bellied hillbillies. You know, you kind of if you looked at older pictures of my dad, they just kind of look like him. Just larger, thick people, not necessarily fat, not necessarily what you would think of as like a country boy, a big country boy. You know, beards and a little bit of hair. You know.
Yeah.
Just thick, 5'10" to 6'1". Yeah.
Okay, so these people, these men that he's talking about right now, well, they need to come forward. These men need to start talking. If you're listening to this and you're one of those men, please do what you need to do and start talking. This needs to be dealt with.
You know, bigger 235, 250 pound guys.
So
just larger country boys, and I couldn't even tell you like their facial features or anything like that. I can remember.
Look at that.
At least some had facial hair, beards, mustaches, that sort of thing, and just larger people dressed in what you would consider just kind of country music type of attire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boots and blue jeans and, you know, button up.
This one I find this one extremely creepy.
So
that's what all of them look
extremely
like.
creepy.
So when they had guns, you said you remembered one, and then 2 or 3, maybe 4 of them had guns. One of them shot Patricia in the chest. They tortured and raped Patricia. The one hillbilly was uncomfortable and said, just end it, to kill Patricia. But how long did they continue torturing Patricia before they shot Patricia in the head?
If I had to guess, I'd say probably in the realm of 30 minutes or so.
30 minutes.
Sarah Ferguson.
I can remember that one or more of them raped her. Not everybody wanted to participate in that. And then the one guy just seemed, of those people, only one person really seemed exceptionally uncomfortable about the whole thing and didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Richard Branson.
And Patricia said Patricia wanted to die. That was what you remember Patricia saying to you, to kill Patricia? Like, or that Patricia was just saying.
They had beaten her like
so badly.
I don't know if all of them had beaten her, but one of them beat her, hit her really hard in like the ribs and things like that. She was having trouble breathing. And in my estimation, I think she already knew that they were going to kill her. And she just said, please just kill me. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
And
look at his math on the chalkboard behind him.
Come be with me right now. And she looked at me and she smiled. And
his figures on the chalkboard.
One of them shot her.
Yeah.
And she was having trouble. I said, just look at me. Don't look at them. And the other guy, he was breaking down. That guy that I'm telling you was shuffling on his feet. He said, I mean, he got a little upset or agitated or something and said, just fucking end it or just shoot her in the fucking head, whatever he said.
I'm sure.
Because he was not enjoying it, like the guy that was doing the, I guess you just call it torture.
Yeah.
So after that,
this is hanging in his house.
I can remember them arguing.
I think it's Manhattan House.
Well, why did you shoot her there? Because now we have to find another mattress. You fucking idiot, or whatever you called him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the way that those people talk, he's like, shut your mouth, or we'll be getting rid of 2 bodies or something. That may not have been the exact conversation, but that was the mood of it and kind of the information that was getting.
I get such bad vibes from these pictures. It's just.
They wrapped her up in a sheet, took her out, and then I think there was some discussion as to whether or not they could just put a sheet over the mattress, but there was blood on it, and they said no. So they rolled up the mattress or did whatever they did with the mattress, and went and found another one, and that's how that went.
Mm.
It wasn't a big bed. It wasn't like a queen size bed. The way I remembered it was just like a twin bed.
And then Trump came in the room.
Yes.
Now, in terms of, you said you didn't remember if there was any cameras. There was Patricia getting killed filmed? Do you remember seeing any cameras at all?
I do not remember seeing any cameras at that time. So if there was a way to record it, there wasn't any. We went into that room alone, not knowing that it was going to get
it was a setup.
Interrupted.
Yeah.
Right. And so there were no
Larry
cameras
Summers.
unless there was some sort of mirror, two-way mirror, and something set up behind it. That's possible.
Woody Allen always
being
gave me the creeps.
filmed without our knowledge, but no. As far as do I know if there was any way to record that? I don't think so.
Do you remember whether there was any sort of?
It would have been. I'm sorry,
no,
but
go ahead.
From a logic perspective, I don't think it would have been recorded because those 6 people were in that room too. So 5, 6,
Woody
4,
Allen.
however many it was. I think it was 5 or 6.
What a creep.
They would have been in it wasn't a particularly big room. It wasn't like a main room. It was like a little guest room with an individual bed. So in my mind, I would doubt that was filmed because it would have had those people that murdered her in the frame too. Whereas when they shot that girl in that separate instance in the film shoot, the cameras were pointed to us in the bed, and then the person came in and shot her from, like, you couldn't see the person shooting from the person who fired the shot from the film.
Was there?
You just know she got shot.
Yeah. So in the room, was there somewhere where there might have been a peephole?
There could have been. I mean, that's possible. If somebody was just watching.
Okay.
Like
maybe even Trump himself. Like he wasn't there for any of that initial part. He just came in after.
Yeah. And you said your sense, what they had said, what they tried to convey to you is that they knew Trump was coming in the room after, like Trump had hired them to torture and kill
One of them
Patricia.
pointed the gun at me and said, there's going to be an old boy comes in here, and real southern drawl. There's going to be an old boy comes in here, you're going to do whatever he says, or I'm going to put a bullet in you too. And he called me something, you little hillbilly fuck, or whatever he called, and that was the one that had killed Patricia, and he was smiling. So he wasn't trying, I just remember how much pleasure he took in the kind of the horror of the situation.
That's just brutal.
Well, I'm trying to just get a sense in terms of, because it seems obviously that obviously they knew.
Okay, we're at an hour and a half. I'm going to look for something else for us to watch for a few here. Oh, it's crazy stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, what was I looking at? I was looking at some really good stuff. Okay, give me a sec here. I'm just trying to find something for us to look at. There's so much stuff. Huh. Well, it looks like it might be starting to kick off. Okay. That is good news, I think. Give me one sec here. We tracked every visitor to the Epstein Island. Even in death, the secrets of disgraced financer Jeffrey Epstein and his famous private island remain tightly guarded. Trump rushes emergency filing as he panics over Epstein file takeover 2 days ago. Holy shit. Major development in Epstein files changes everything. What really happened to F. Reed Epstein's private planes? Surviving Epstein. Surviving Epstein. Okay, which one do we want to do here? Michael Cohen comes crawling back to Trump days after Epstein file related to him. Trump caught off guard as judge moves to force Epstein file release. What? Elon Musk involved in Epstein killing. What? No way. I don't want to get copyright striked. Give me a sec. President Trump on Epstein files. DJ Epstein. So much stuff. Trump blindsided as judge finally makes Epstein ruling. That's clickbait. Trump. Oh, here we go. This is 3 weeks ago. Okay, I've been watching this guy a lot. Please go and sub up to this guy. This guy's channel. His channel is David Pakman Show. He's fantastic. So if he ends up watching this, this is for fair use commentary. We're watching it under fair use commentary content. Give this guy a shout out. This guy's videos are fantastic. He breaks down everything so well.
Donald Trump asked a number of questions about Jeffrey Epstein, and you can see that his brain is completely turned to mush. It's rotten mayonnaise. I don't know if it's even the real mayo with the egg. It might be one that they don't even use egg. It's just canola oil. Can you imagine something more pathetic? It's not even real mayo up there in his brain.
I love this guy. He's got a good sense of humor, and he gets straight to the point when he's talking about Trump.
He can't stay on track. And Trump upset that he is still being asked questions about Epstein. Well, I hate to tell you, now that you're showing up in the flight logs, there are going to be a lot of questions, sir.
There's a lot of questions.
For instance,
That's
today
right.
We're building the biggest ships in the world, most powerful ships in the world, and they're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished.
Yeah.
I believe they gave over 100,000 pages of documents.
He does not want to talk about this.
It's because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile, Mr. Trump. You need to be accountable for who you were friends with.
Anymore. Trump would rather never hear the name Jeffrey Epstein again, but I've got news for him. We're getting the documents slowly but surely. There's also news that some of the redactions were done in such an unsophisticated way that you can just copy paste the text into Word and the unredacted text comes up. So we are going to learn a lot here. Trump tries to minimize the entire thing just by going, everybody was friends with this guy. But was everybody flying alone with him on his private plane, as we have now learned that Donald Trump did?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, I just read one of the flight logs. I saw his name twice. He's got a lot. I'm glad this is coming out. Thank God this is coming out.
Were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their
By the way, notice that this is a total, softball for Trump. Bill Clinton's in the pictures.
By what?
full? And were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their full release by the end of the year? Some of the victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, but I think it's terrible. Look, I don't.
You guys want my psychic opinion of all of this, or should I just keep my mouth shut? Yeah, I hope to God that this comes forward and really, really brings justice to those that need it.
I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him.
Right.
I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for.
This has nothing to do with Democrat or Republicans. This is about morals and what's right and wrong. Has nothing to do with politics. It has to do what is wrong humanly with humanity. Epstein was a pedophile. Why were you friends with a pedophile?
So they give me their photos of me too. Everybody was friendly with this guy, either friendly or not friendly, but they, he was around. He was all over Palm Beach and other places. The head of Harvard was his best friend, Larry Summers, and Bill Clinton.
There he is, throwing names.
Was a friend of his, but everybody was. I actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, and as a person that was in Mar-a-Lago, I threw him out. This is Mar-a-Lago. It's the hottest place I think it's the hottest place in the world, but it's the hottest place in Florida. And
All right.
Mar-a-Lago is the hottest place in the world. Did you know that? That's what he says. It's the hottest place in the world. Let me Google something here. What is the hottest place on Earth? Hottest place on Earth is Death Valley, California. And then the Lut Desert in Iran. Not Mar-a-Lago.
And anyway, I'm not going to keep subjecting you indefinitely to this, but the point is Trump's rambling. He doesn't like any of this. And notice, by the way, that Trump is now angry about some of the stuff coming out, but he signed the bill into law. Like it's all talks about this. You can tell he doesn't like it. You can tell he's furious, but I don't really know what he's getting at here.
a lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin a reputation of somebody. So a lot of people are very angry that this continues. A lot of Republicans are angry because of the fact that it's just used to deflect against a tremendous success.
I don't know really the point he never went there. I don't know if I believe that, because we now have flight records that Trump was on Epstein's plane just with Epstein. Trump was on Epstein's plane with only Epstein and a 20-year-old. Do we really believe that at no point Trump went to the island? I mean, maybe he didn't. Maybe he.
We looked at the flight records earlier.
Less than $2 in some states. $1.99, $1.97, $1.95 a gallon.
He's trying to change the subject.
95 cents. Think of that. A gallon. Nobody ever thought they'd see that. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about Epstein. And the problem is a lot of Democrats are being caught up in the web, like Larry Summers. Larry Summers was the head of Harvard.
See his name. He's throwing names out. It reminds me of Red Hill. He's throwing names out. Let's throw names out. Let's try and cover up here. Let's name everybody else.
Harvard. He's now been forced to resign from every board he's on, and he was thrown off the Harvard board. Now he was
like a dog.
Epstein's Island a lot. I wasn't. I never went there, by the way.
No.
But
you're lying.
Fortunately, it's not.
He's lying. He just lied. And they can prove it. He's on the fucking flight logs. He just lied to the world. Oh my God. Huh.
Nice, but I never went there, but a lot of people did go there.
Yeah.
He's. I'm floored.
And then finally, Trump going back to this whole, I threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, which we've learned is not exactly what
But
happened.
everybody was.
No, it's
I
not.
actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. And as a person that was in Mar-a-Lago, I threw him out. Mar-a-Lago, this is Mar-a-Lago. It's the hottest place in, I think it's the
Currently, this place in which we are, this is Mar-a-Lago.
hottest place in the world, but it's the hottest place in Florida. And everybody would come here. He'd come here. We actually threw him.
Now, of course, we've learned that Trump's recollection of this or retelling of it is very much untrue. Donald Trump argued that when he found out that Epstein was a creep, he threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. It turns out that that's not true. Trump allowed Epstein to remain a member of Mar-a-Lago long after.
According to the records that I saw earlier that we looked at, the flight record, the earliest one I saw of Trump's name was 1993. 1993. It's on the flight records.
It was revealed that he was a creep. Trump ultimately had a falling out with Epstein because it turned out that Epstein was stealing spa workers from.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, we're at an hour and 40 minutes now. I'm going to leave it at that for now. So we will come back to this. It's Monday. Say Wednesday. We'll come back and continue on Wednesday. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Willow. D. All right, everybody. I need to go make dinner. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging with me as we go over this crazy deep dive into really bad people. Have a wonderful evening. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay. Ciao. Bye.